This Oculus founder wants to make a headset that will kill the gamer if they die in the game. What is happening in tech? Hey y'all, I'm Leslie, your friend in cyber, and welcome to my channel. Here I talk about all things cybersecurity, tech news, and reviews to help you learn how to swerve in these cyber streets. If you're looking for somewhere to get information on how to protect you and your family online, hit like, subscribe, and tap the notifications bell. So it's really odd to me to know that the founder, or at least one of the founders of Oculus, has this really horrible, evil plan to create a headset that will actually kill the gamer if they're playing and die in the game. That's absolutely crazy to me. And when I first saw this article, I thought it was clickbait. I saw it on, Instagram, and I was like, okay, so the site that I saw on Instagram is not really a reputable site. But I'm like, well, let me do a little internet sleuthing and see if this is really real. And it turns out, yes, went straight down the rabbit hole into the blog of the founder of Oculus, or at least one of the founders of Oculus, whose name is Palmer Luckey. I'm reading through this blog post, and I'm disturbed on so many levels, but I feel like it's important for me to share this with you. So we're going to get into this article. Jumping right into it. The title of this blog post by Palmer Luckey for November 6, 2022, so no, this is not old. The title of this blog post is, "If you die in the game, you die in real life." You know what you're getting yourself into when you're reading this now, okay? So I'm not going to read the whole article, but I'm going to talk about key pieces. It's just absolutely crazy to me. So he starts off talking about today is November 6, 2022. Again, it's recent. And apparently this game called SAO, which stands for Sword Art Online, it's a really popular game, I guess, a really popular game. And apparently something big happened in the SAO world where he decided he wants to share this idea that he's had. He starts the blog post off by saying that thousands of gamers were trapped by a mad scientist inside a death game that could only be escaped through completion. First of all, I don't play this game. If their hit points drop to 0, their brain will be bombarded by extraordinarily powerful microwaves, supposedly killing the user. The same would happen if anyone in real world tampered with their nerve gear, so that's the name of the gear that's in this game, the virtual reality head-mounted display that transported their minds and souls to Candid, the primary setting of Sword Art Online. Okay, so that's just, I guess, the understanding of what the game is. The premise of the game, I guess, is if you're playing this like to the death game, you have this headset on, but if you lose, it's kind of like this whole idea of like the last man standing, only the strongest survive. If I don't make it out alive, then I'm just not gonna make it. Like, okay, not an uncommon game premise. However, it gets creepy when you start trying to bring this to life, right? So he goes in to talk about like, oh, this great, he loves this game. He has like all this stuff because he loves the game so much. And then I'm just like, yeah, but that isn't what you're here for. No, we're not. Okay, we're not here for that. What are you doing? You want nerve gear. Do we? The incredible device that perfectly recreates reality using a direct neural interface that is also capable of killing the user. Who wants this? Did you ask for this? I didn't ask for this. The idea of tying your real life to your virtual avatar has always fascinated me. You instantly raise the stakes to the maximum level and force people to fundamentally rethink how they interact with the virtual world and the players inside it. Okay, pumped up graphics might make a game look more real, but only the threat of serious consequences can make a game feel real to you and every other person in the game. Okay. Let me just stop right here. I used to be scared of playing dodgeball. Let me be for real. I was playing dodgeball at my sister's birthday a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't want to get hit by the ball. Like, what you mean? Those are serious consequences. Look, I'm too old to be taking a ball to the face. I'm too old. I'm too old. What do you mean? These are the types of consequences that I'm concerned about playing a game. But you're talking about like real bodily injury to include death? What? Okay. This dude, all right. So this is an area of video game mechanics that has never been explored despite the long history of real world sports revolving around similar stakes. Why would we want to explore that? Why would you want to be hurt by playing a video game? If I wanted to risk being hurt, I would just try to skateboard with these almost 40-year-old knees and see what happens. Like, are you serious? So then he goes on to say, the good news is that we are halfway to making a true nerve gear. What? So I'll stop right here. There are other people who are reporting on this and they want to make it seem like the technology fully exists now. It doesn't, right? That still doesn't take away from the sheer like horror of it. But no, the technology is not 100%, you know, a real thing right now yet. However, the fact that they've put this time and effort into creating even like some sort of a concept for a proof of concept for it, or just a half-baked idea, like this is stuff from horror movies. Like, are you kidding me? I know things are crazy right now, but really we got to add this on top of it. Like, people can't even just, I don't know, just fall into this like loop of playing video games because this is just what makes them relax. Now it's like, oh, we've got to up the antes and make it stressful for people. Like, what? Are you serious? The bad news is that so far I have only figured out the half that kills you. He really just sat down and thought about this. Like, how can I make this game come to life? And the reality that somebody actually wants this. Like, he wouldn't be creating this as this person who is like one of the founders of the most popular virtual reality headset, like, in production at this moment. Like, he wouldn't be coming up with this idea if there wasn't someone that he ran past us and said, hey, you know, don't you think this is a great idea? How cool will it be if this really exists? Oh yeah, man, I'll be totally down. Are you serious? Like, who is he talking to? Who are the people that are saying, yeah, we want this? This is so cool. Like, because I'd be really hard pressed to believe that that he just decided to say this is a great idea and I'm gonna do it. Like, what? I use 3 of the explosive charge modules I usually use for a different project, tying them to a narrowband photo sensor that can detect when the screen flashes red at a specific frequency, making game over integration on the part of the developer very easy. When an appropriate game over screen is displayed, the charges fire, instantly destroying the brain of the user. Why do you want to kill people? Like, it's not about, oh, it's for game enjoyment, because clearly anyone who's playing this game is not playing this game to enjoy it. Anyone who plays this game is playing this game because they have a death wish. So why are you creating this? Like, why is this something that you want to do? Again, it doesn't fully exist yet, but like, why do you want to do this so bad? And why is it something that you're like so happy about? Meanwhile, you trying to keep your kids from putting up too much information on social media. Like, you trying to protect your kids from spending too much time playing VR. And now this is something that they have to potentially see. And I'm not saying that this is for kids. Obviously, it's not for kids. But my point is, if this ever became a thing, how would you explain this to your children? If this ever became a thing, would you be like looking after your siblings and your friends and your loved ones to be like, hey, you're not into this, right? This is another area of concern. Like, you know, you never know what people are going through. And I feel like sometimes we forget that this virtual reality world is not set up for us to succeed. It's not. It's set up for you to be sucked into an environment that you can control, because the world can't be controlled, right? We can't control what's happening outside. We can't control the weather. We can't control the circumstances that we're living in sometimes. Not easily, at least, right? So this whole idea of being sucked into this virtual reality world that's so perfect and harmonious and, oh, there's no this and there's no that. Like, yo, this whole idea of perfection doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And then just looking at this, like, you see this craziness where it's like, oh, I'm going to play this game, this virtual reality game that's so immersive that I actually feel the repercussions of my actions. Yo, there are people outside now who don't want to feel the repercussions of their actions. They don't. There are people now who are avoiding all types of stuff because they don't want to deal with the consequences. So you want to bring those consequences into real life, let alone like you playing the game for a couple of hours and you mess up 50 million times. You want to actually die? That's crazy. I'll continue. This isn't a perfect system, of course. plans for an anti-tamper mechanism that, like the Nerve gear, will make it impossible to remove or destroy the headset. So, okay, I gotta stop. So, if you're playing this game and you get to a point where it's like, okay, I really feel like I'm about to die. I know that that red screen just might pop up on me. Let me abort mission before this really happens. So it's like, no, you're locked in.
Goodbye.
They can't say, I changed my mind. So the choice is you sit down and play, and that's it. Sit down, play, hope for the best. And who actually ever wins the game on the first go? I'm not a gamer. I just recently started picking up like a super retro game that I absolutely love. It's a side-scroller game that I love. But even with that, I'm terrible. I just graduated from terrible. I just kind of suck at this point. But I'm not as terrible as I was. But when you pick up a new game, who actually makes it to the end on the first go? Sure, there are some people that can, but for the vast majority of people, who makes it to the end on the first go? Now, again, this does not exist just yet. This game doesn't exist just yet. But it seems like this is, if you're going by what has been said of the original game, it's a one-time, one-and-done type thing. You get one shot and that's it. Because the whole idea is to really, truly feel like you're a part of the action and have real-life consequences for what you're doing in the virtual reality. Like, what? This is absolutely just evil to me. So it goes on to say, even so, there are a huge variety of failures that could occur and kill the user at the wrong time. Wow. This is why I have not worked up the balls to actually use it myself. And also why I'm convinced that, like an SAO, the final triggering should really be tied to a high intelligence agent that can readily determine if conditions for termination are actually correct. Wow. So you're playing God. That's what all of this is. Okay. Why do we want to kill users again? Like, why do we want to do, why does he, I'm not gonna say we, because we don't want to do nothing. Why does he want to kill users? Why does he want to kill people? Why? And then also, would this even be legal? Like, okay. At this point, I'm really just starting to think that this is like trolling. Like, I'm really beginning to think that this has to be like trolling on some monstrous level, because this just doesn't make sense, right? I feel like at this point he's like mocking people, like, ha ha ha, you believe this? Like, because I cannot really truly believe that this is real. You know, like, it doesn't make it. I know people are terrible. I know people are horrible. I know bad things happen to people all the time. I just cannot wrap my mind around this being something that's real. Like, this has to be a publicity stunt. This has to be something to get people to get to his blog like I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. It has to be something like this. Like, this can't possibly be real. I just it can't possibly be real. So he ends it by saying, at this point, it's just a piece of office art, a thought-provoking reminder of unexplored avenues in game design. It is also, as far as I know, the first non-fiction example of a VR device that can actually kill the user. It won't be the last. See you in the metaverse. Signed, Palmer. Okay, so okay. Even if this is completely, even if Palmer Luckey is trolling everybody, right? Even if that's the case, I'm still concerned. I'm still concerned. Because the reality is that people have become super dark, and I don't know if it's the case that people have become really dark, or is that people have always been really kind of dark and now they just feel like, I'm just gonna let all my little creepy evil stuff just hang out. Like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what world we're living in right now, where, you know, posting something like this online is like, yeah, this is something I'm working on, it's so great, I'm only halfway there, but right now it's just office art. What? I really do question what the future of technology is. Like, I understand that there's the desire to want, you know, people to experience in real life sensations that they're experiencing in the virtual world, like touch and smell and stuff like that. And those are all seemingly like, oh, that's so nice. That'd be so great to smell the flowers if I'm in a lilac field, like whatever. But these super dark things, like, that's one of the things that I always want people to think about, is technology that is made for good can also be used for bad. And that's not saying that it always is, but it's those things that you really have to think about. Like, everything that can exist shouldn't exist. Every ability that you can think of should not come to fruition. Like, that's just what it is. Like, and I'm not the gatekeeper on what should be real and what's not, but I enjoy real life, and going down the street is a risk for some people. You know what I mean? Driving a car is a risk for some people. Walking to the bus stop is a risk or a gamble for some people in their lives because of the conditions that they're living in. Why do you want to bring that into virtual space? Isn't VR supposed to be like a release of being able to just be immersed in this particular beautiful or chaotic, if that's what you makes you relax, but this environment where you can just be in this moment and just focus on this moment and have fun in this moment? Like, isn't that what VR is supposed to be? Or even if it's for educational purposes or scientific purposes, whatever, like, it's supposed to allow you to simulate something in a way that could have some real life benefits, even if that benefit is just joy, right? But this, to be able to say, oh, you know, at some point, perhaps, I'm not saying that I'm going to be the one to do it, and I'm speaking as if I'm this guy, Palmer Luckey. I'm not saying that, you know, Palmer's going to be the one to do it, but the idea is out there, and I'm sure he's not the only one with this idea. So what does the future of technology really look like? Why did he post this now? Like, what is this? And that really kind of ominous sign off of see you in the metaverse? Absolutely not. You won't see me in the metaverse. No, you won't. Well, first of all, I have my own opinions about that too. But I'm really interested in your opinion. What do you think about this? Do you think that this is just trolling? Do you think that this is something that is actually going to come to be? Do you think that there's going to be other people coming out with similar technology? Let me know what you think in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this video. Here's another video that you might like. See you in the cyber streets.